from the city of the sun. You could have stayed, it's only over when the day is done. I never knew you was a runner, yeah. I mistook you for a son. It don't matter what we think when it's all over. 'Cause this is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah. This is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah.
Archie, is it fun?
Fun.
Fun.
After me. Ready? Happy?
Happy.
New?
New?
New.
Boom.
Was wrong to say I wouldn't change a thing, 'cause in the story of our lives, the best of times through colored glass, time moves on enough to let me move on past, but every little now and then it creeps on back to shape my smile.
Alright, so let's go to the next tweet. Alright, this woman explaining the nature of cult and how Prince Harry finding Duchess Meghan was the biggest part of him escaping it. The cult can forgive anything, Prince Andrew, but they can't forgive leaving. But the thing is that as much this may sound whatever it is from a cult perspective, but they kick him out. They kick him out.
So in conclusion, if you'd had the support, you'd still be there.
Without question.
Yeah.
I'm sad that what's happened has happened, but I know and I'm comfortable knowing that we did everything that we could to make it work, and we did everything on the exit process the way that it should have been
with
done.
as much respect.
With as much
and,
respect.
Oh my God, we just did everything we could to protect them.
Whatever it is from a cult perspective, but they kick him out. They kick him out.
Began to address Granny about the 5 options. Your Majesty, you've seen the 5 options? Yes, she said. We all had. They'd been emailed to us. 5 different ways of proceeding. Option 1 was continuance of the status quo. Meg and I don't leave. Everyone tries to go back to normal. Option 5 was full severance. No royal role, no working for Granny, and total loss of security. Option 3 was somewhere in between, a compromise, closest to what we'd originally proposed. I told everyone assembled that, above all, I was desperate to keep security. That was what worried me most, my family's physical safety. I wanted to prevent a repeat of history, Another untimely death, like the one that had rocked this family to its core 23 years earlier, and from which we were still trying to recover. I'd consulted with several palace veterans, people who knew the inner workings of the monarchy and its history, and they all said option 3 was best for all parties. Meg and I living elsewhere part of the year, continuing our work, retaining security, returning to Britain for charities, ceremonies, events. Sensible solution, these palace veterans said, and eminently doable. But the family, of course, pushed me to take option 1. Barring that, they would only accept option 5. We discussed the 5 options for nearly an hour. At last, the bee got up and went round the table, handing out a draft of a statement the palace would soon be releasing, announcing implementation of option 5. Wait, I'm confused. You've already drafted a statement? Before any discussion? Announcing option 5? In other words, the fix was in this whole time? This summit was just for show? No answer.
In public, they told his wife to leave.
If you want to be private, go back to America and live privately. It's pretty straightforward.
And then on paper, the brother with the Syndrome Summit hired, what's the guy? Simon Case. Is it Simon Case? I think that's his name. Just look at the screen. Okay, to write a document for him to leave. So there's some mental issues here that's going on with them. They kick him out. And Harry was willing to stay. Let's not forget that. Okay, so let's listen to what she's saying here. Well, the thing I think also that's happening here, they were expecting, because these people, they thrive when others are suffering. So Harry is not suffering the way they wanted him to suffer. So this is what's killing them right now, in my humble opinion. All right, so 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So with what I just said, keep that in mind.
About the Harry-Meghan saga, because the Harry-Meghan saga is what helped me come up with the second rule of cults. The first rule of cults, of course, is in the epigraph of Uncultured. The first rule of cults is you're never in a cult. But I don't think the person asking this question is going to like where I go with it. I'm Daniela, scholar of cults, extreme groups, and extremely bad leadership, and author of Uncultured, that book I just showed you about growing up in the Children of God and going into the U.S. Army. You can get autographed copies attached here. Okay, so to start off, the British royal family is definitely a cult, right? And if you don't like the word cult, it's a total institution. And a total institution is defined as when you live and work separated from the rest of the world with some sort of formal overlay. And large estate household is one of the categories of total institution. So like Downton Abbey is a total institution, royal family is a total institution. But it was really when I was watching the Harry-Meghan interview with Oprah that I really started keying into it being a cult, and that's because of the language they use when they talk about the family and the firm, or the way they talked about the Queen with such worshipful tones in their voices, the way that, you know, supposedly the actual humans, right, the Queen and the other people were like lovely and wonderful, but it was the family and the firm that had to control things. The way they care more about controlling things than they care about the actual humans in it. And watching the Harry-Meghan saga is what gave me my second rule of cults. Second rule of cults is the cult will forgive any sin, Prince Andrew, except the sin of leaving. And my third rule of cults is about Donald Trump, which is even if he did it doesn't mean he's guilty. And that is the deification of idiosyncrasy, our human desire to make excuses for the inexcusable behavior of our charismatic leaders. A charismatic leader does not mean he's charming. But I like it best what Meghan said. And I have this exact situation with my husband and his family. So Meghan says, it's very...
Oh, I would love to... Oh, there's more. Okay, I was like, I would like to hear more. Okay, last bit of the video. Again, as I listen to her, she probably make perfect sense, but not only Harry, during the Oprah interview, Harry and Meghan were trying to be as sensible as possible to not say too much. I think the Oprah interview was a way to respond to the tabloid from the moment Meghan met Harry to the point they left. And at the same time, they were trying their best to not say too much. And then, knowing what we know now since the Oprah interview, this is how much they were trying to not say too much. Even when Harry was leaving the UK to go meet Meghan in Canada after the Syndrome Summit, remember, at that time, the book Spare did not come out yet. So Harry was still trying not to say too much. He gave us a broad idea of what went on without saying too much.
I'll say that I can only imagine what you may have heard or perhaps read over the past few weeks. So I want you to hear the truth from me, as much as I can share, not as a prince or a duke, but as Harry, the same person that many of you have watched grow up over the last 35 years, but now with a clearer perspective.
And then now, after Spare, knowing what we know now and plug in everything, the Oprah interview, the speech Harry made when he was gonna leave UK to go meet Meghan in Canada, the Spare book, and everything else that follows, you could plug everything together. Even the Netflix, the docuseries, we could plug all of them together. They've been saying the same exact thing, but without revealing too much. As they move forward, as they keep on, or I guess the institution, the Royal Vat, keep poking them, they're saying much more, much clearer. But overall, everything is the same. And then again, the key point here, let's not forget, it is the institution who kicked them out. Okay, let's not forget the Syndrome office, the Syndrome summit, and then the document was already prepared. Harry wanted to do half in, and they said no, it's either you in, you out. Okay, and they already had choose the one that they want for Harry, which is for him to get the hell out of there. Okay, so at the end of the day, it's not Harry and Meghan's fault. The institution is going bonkers. They are crazy. That's all it is. As much it is a cult, is this, is that, they are crazy. They want people to suffer. They wanted Harry and Meghan to suffer. And Harry and Meghan are hard worker. They are visionists. They think logically and they understand the situation. And God is helping them too. People are praying for them. Who knows, Princess Diana, wherever she is in heaven, helping them. And so the idea of pain, the savagery situation they wanted for Harry and Meghan, that's not what's happening. So right now, without Harry and Meghan doing a damn thing to them, they're just minding their own business, doing what they love. This is killing the institution, okay? That's what's killing the institution, because they wanted Harry and Meghan to suffer. Because they're not suffering now, I don't know, whatever the reverse thing that's happening, I never seen this type of devilish mindset. It's hitting them somehow. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. All right, well, what did she say here? Let me put it right here.
Leader does not mean he's charming, but I like it best what Meghan said, and I have this exact situation with my husband and his family. So Meghan says it's very
okay, so this is where we left off. Okay, last bit of the video, 1 minute and 30 seconds.
It's very convenient for them. They want somebody to blame, and they conveniently have me. I'm paraphrasing from the documentary that they did. But the truth is that if Harry hadn't already been on his journey away from them, he never would have been attracted to me in the first place. And this is, again, exactly the situation I've had in my own life with my husband and his family, who are very, very much like opposite of us, and we almost don't have much contact. So, yeah, royal family, total cult. Harry, Meghan got out of it. I don't think there's any signs of her manipulating him. I think it is exactly that what she said. Like, she was what helped him leave the cult and helped him decide to leave the cult, as is often the case.
Okay, let's not forget, both of them wanted to stay. Keep that in mind. But what she's saying here, Harry, a lot of the squad have said that too, where Harry was in a completely different path of, like some of the things that I've said earlier, where the institution is sending Harry to meet with the people, places that they did not want to go. And while they putting the facade, the institution putting the facade that they're helping people, meanwhile, deep inside, they don't really give a shit. But Harry, which they don't care about as well, knowing what we know now, the way Charles treated Harry since Princess Diana passed, okay, sending him out there to all of those Commonwealth countries, places they didn't really want to go. Even Harry said it in the Obama Foundation, where when they send him out, he doesn't always go to the nice places. They send him, you know, to the places where the people are suffering, this kind of thing.
When I go to, when we get sent to some countries, we don't always get to see the beautiful parts. We're always there trying to deal with some of the issues, but also doing everything we can to bring people together, to make change, to make positive change. And it's an absolute joy and a privilege to meet the younger generation of change makers across the world who genuinely believe in the fact that they, as a single person and as a group and as a community and as a nation, not only can change their country, but can change the world as well. And that is what keeps me going on a day-to-day basis.
But meanwhile, what they were doing to Harry, mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever you may call it, is that Harry was, I guess, taking in the energy of those people's suffering. And then it opened his eyes, it making him feel a certain way where he wants to do something. And through that, this is where his course or his path were shifting. Because he saw both worlds. Okay? He saw both worlds. He saw the royal family's world, the lavish lifestyle. The rule doesn't apply to them, nothing. They do as they please. They go wherever. So there's no rules for the institution. They are at the top besides God. And this is why they have God above and then the firm below God. Okay? I have that thumbnails where I have the Union flag. And then you have God, the firm, and then everybody below them. So they have no rules set for them. Human rules. They could do whatever. So Harry seen and live in that world. And then when they send him to the other world of the people below the institution, and even below that, because there's level, the way these human created. So they sent him to the lowest level to interact with people, and he got to understand these people. So they were training him without him knowing, without the firm knowing. So these, I guess the way that I could explain it, I could be 100 billion wrong, but this is just my perception of it. He was grabbing or the pain, the suffering, you name it, of the people. It really ingrained in him, and he felt like he needed to do something. And through that, without telling the institution, this is my path. I mean, he sort of told us, but he didn't, I guess people don't know the future, but it started carving out his path for him. The institution is a facade. I don't even think, even as Harry was saying what he wanted to do, I don't even think they took him seriously, because they never take anything seriously with the exception of whatever it is that they do behind closed doors. So as Harry telling us this is what he wants to do, especially the one with Matt Lauer and all of that.
What would you want to do?
I think I don't know. It's a really tricky question. It goes through my head lots. I'd like to fly helicopters, definitely. I'd like to be some sort of heli pilot, you know, working for the UN maybe or something like that. Go off and do some, you know, I'd have to be doing something active outside and doing sort of fun stuff, but with an edge to helping people.
How about you, Harry?
He'd probably sit in and play computer games and drink beer.
Thanks a lot. No, I honestly, I don't know how well this would get out, but I'd probably live in Africa. I'd like to spend all my time out there.
In a humanitarian
Both. It would be a humanitarian aspect and as well as a sort of safari aspect. As a job, it'd probably be a safari guide, and then
it'd be really good for me because he wouldn't be around, you see, so I get how I have to myself.
At the same time, you know, splitting my time between a charity, you know, in Lesotho, probably Lesotho as well. If you know, if I became normal tomorrow, then I'd have
that word normal comes up a lot, doesn't it? It really is. It's kind of the holy grail out there.
I feel abnormal.
And you've been to the United States. You spent a little time in Tennessee. You mentioned Disney World. What are your impressions of the U.S.?
Horrible.
Oh my God! No.
You know that's the headline.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Harry calls U.S. horrible.
No, I think it's such an amazing place. It's so vast on such a massive scale, and there's so much to do, and it's so different.
I love America. I think it's brilliant. I have a really good time when I'm over there. Everyone's really friendly, welcoming, and yet they're very good at sort of not being too invasive. No, it's cool, and it'd be nice to get back to America sometime soon.
It's nothing. They never bother whatever. But meanwhile, Harry was dead serious. So his path was starting to carve out, and then this is where the stars were starting to align. And I've said this in many other ways, where Meghan's path was straight, okay? From childhood and straight, despite issues she was having with the separation of her parents. But Harry, to meet Meghan, in order for him to meet Meghan, look at the screen. I have two different roads that I've shared with you before. Meghan's road is straight. Harry's road was zigzag. That's what Harry's road was, until he had to go through all of these in order for him to meet Meghan. Because if he was already up there, never experienced those to meet with those people of lower class, the way the institution makes it, okay? He never met these people, never understand what they go through and all of that. There's no way Harry and Meghan would have met, or they would understand the path, okay? They will not work. But I mean, the universe have a strange way. I think it was set out for him to meet Meghan. And not only that, not that I'm saying his exes or anything negative or positive, nothing. I'm not saying that. He had to go through all of these. So when he meets Meghan, he could see the comparison. Because the thing that the universe was setting out for Harry, the work that he's doing right now, I really don't think. I could be 1 million wrong. We will never know, because now it is what it is now. I don't think they'll be able to deal or do some of the things that Harry and Meghan are doing right now, and to be able to handle the tabloid the way that Harry and Meghan are handling the tabloid. So Harry had to go through all of that, those zigzags, all those negative press that they were throwing at him, because he needed to go through them. So as he set the path forward, as he moved forward, he knew who to shun out. Look at this. He went to Colombia, shut down all the British tabloid and said, you're not coming. All right. So through experience, he had to do that. If he did not have the experience of the tabloid, of all the negative press, because his focus, he's straight on focus. He know what he wants. So the tabloid, I mean, Harry have said everything. Even when I think in some part with Melody Hapson, where he said because of the work that he does, he is surrounded with negativity sometimes.
When a 6-year-old says to you that your country is ruining theirs, what do you do or say?
Agree with them slightly. We all know the issues that are out there, you know, with the climate and the environmental issues, and I don't want to say it's refreshing, but it is nice to know that kids that young have an appreciation and understanding greater than some of the people who have been on this planet for 60, 70 years. So I think without credit, I mean, I've been a pessimist many times because of the work that we end up doing. You can be surrounded by negativity sometimes.
He knows, he's seen these people. He kept his mouth shut, but he was doing his thing. But in order for him to do the things that he's doing now, he needed a strong partner. I don't know if I'm making sense, but overall with this lady, she has a portion of it, but I like to add to her perspective. I'm not saying she's wrong or right, none of that. But based on things that have happened and things that Harry have said and the Oprah interview, and knowing what we know now, it was William, the institution, who kicked him out. And Harry knew the institution was doing the big mistake. Harry is a royalist. He is a royalist. He grew up in it. And he knew they were making a mistake. And this is why the review for his security had to go through. Not only because he needed it, but he knew they were making a mistake. So he had to take his issue outside of the bubble of the institution, of the firm, because people from Ravik are still part of the firm. People he didn't think they were part of the firm. He thought they were independent from the firm, but they all mangled together. So Harry needed to remove his issue, the security issues, out of the bubble of the firm and bring it to a new set of eyes, which is a lawyer. And it was a review. He was not suing them. It was a review. And tell them, look, they are making a mistake for kicking me out and not allowing me to get my own security and all of that. But the judge agree with them. So we cannot say it's Harry's fault for doing some of the things that he is doing now. And it's just too bad it doesn't look good for the institution. Harry warned them. He did everything in his power to let them know whatever it is that they're doing, it's wrong. And then the best thing is, out all of that, they have Harry and Meghan could do whatever it is that they want. There's no connection. If it was 50-50, there would have been an issue. There would have been sabotage. They will leak left and right. They will want to know in advance, what are you going to do this month? This one. Is it going to interfere with what we're doing? Look at this. They're not doing anything right now. All right. But they will make up some shit to say, oh, we're doing this, therefore you cannot do that. So that will hinder their work. So the institution have had so many chances, and I think the universe gave them chances to make things right, but they so evil. When I say evil originate in the UK, I keep on being proven every single day they are truly evil. This is where evil originated. So we cannot blame Harry one bit. Okay, I went off with this. Let's finish with her tweet. I'm moving back really a big portion because I talk too much.
Manipulating him, I think it is exactly that what she said. Like she was what helped him leave the cult and helped him decide to leave the cult, as is often the case. Relationships with people outside the cult often help you leave the cult, or bringing someone into the cult to have a relationship with you often helps you leave the cult, because Harry had no concept of the world outside the cult.
That's right.
Like
that
any
I agree.
Cult baby that was born in. And by the way,
Okay, I spoke over her. You probably didn't hear. Yes, Harry did not have any concept outside of the palace wall, which I've said, and I think this is why. In one couple videos I've said he left that because he trusted Meghan. He put his trust on Meghan to help him navigate outside of the institution, and I think now he got the hang of it. Okay, let me move it back because I talk too much. Oh, I spoke over it. You probably didn't hear what she said.
A relationship with you often helps you leave the cult, because Harry had no concept of the world outside the cult, just like any cult baby that was born in. And by the way, I totally wrote an essay about what Prince Harry, cult babies, and veterans have in common. And if I get enough comments or requests for it on this video, then I will make a video reading it out loud.
Okay, so that's her concept. I agree with a couple things with what she said, but knowing what we know now, well, this is I think it's a reset. I'm not on TikTok. So Harry and Meghan wanted to stay. Let me see. Laughing at the royalists who are suddenly called expert while worshipping one. You love Harry too until he did something you didn't like. Okay, is she okay, I don't know who she is, so let me not give my opinion. I'm just going based on what she was saying. That's it. Okay, wow, this is very good. She does another video which is really interesting, highly recommended. Things typical for cults: depriving financial independence and individual voice when one is in, shunning when one exits. Okay, I actually think the royal family is beyond or more than a cult. I think so too. Most cult members live everyday normal lives. The royal family, with its global power, national worship, media affiliates, exclusion from human rights and equality laws, aristocratic society, and lodges is on a whole different level. Yeah, this one, yes. Okay, this is where I said they have their bases covered. And I think this is what she sort of mentioned here. Okay, they got the media and they all around the world for whatever it is that they want. So they're good. So this one, 100%. There's 3 comments under it. Okay, they wield so much power and influence, yet the British media managed to convince a good section of the public that they're powerless victim of Harry and Meghan speaking up, often characterized as attacks. Even Americans fell for it. They did same with that. I mean, if I didn't look deeper into that, for people who's been listening to me, I told you, they got me. They got me too. But even Charles walking Meghan down the aisle, he got me, thinking he was willing to accept Meghan. I'm actually an hour now. I might cut this video into 2 parts. The thing is that it's the tabloid that got me look a little bit closer. Because knowing Meghan is a movie star, you never hear anything negative about her on papers in the US. At least for me, I don't know. I don't follow a lot of people, so maybe there was, I don't know. But everything from her past, when you look at, even if you were not following her, they all positive. The thing that got me is the tabloid. Maybe the first 2 or 3 one I read, I brush it off. Okay, tabloid, blah, blah, blah. But the consistent negativity about her, and I'm like, wait a second. This cannot be. Because someone at that level, okay, remember, there are different type of people in every single group. No one group is perfect. And I was like, at this level, this woman, I never heard a beep about her. How could she marry into that high society? Because I used to think very highly of the institution. Will be demonstrating those negativity that the tabloid is are saying about her. And that's what got me look closer into the issues in the UK. And I was like, there's no way. There is absolutely no way. And especially a black woman, no way. You could say whatever the perception that the institution have made people believe black people are. Me, as a black person, I know black families teach their kids discipline. There is absolutely no way the things the tabloid were saying about Meghan would be true. That's why I took a look. And then ever since, even though I was not about royal, if you look at PYTE, I think this is where I'm going to put the video. The very first few videos that I have at the beginning, it was about politics that I was going to talk about. And this is why sometimes I'll bring politics into my discussion. Because that's what I wanted to focus on, because the thing that I was seeing. Then it took a shift. And start looking into Harry and Meghan. And I start seeing different branches of stuff. And they were all connected. Squaddies who, some miracle, happened to see my videos. And said they're not about some of the things that I was talking about. Politics, this. I'm everywhere. Talk about whatever come to mind, I will put it. And I said, you don't have to watch any of my videos, because what I was seeing, it was much deeper than that. And looking fast forward couple years, 4 years or maybe 5 years I'm into that now. When you look at everything that I was talking about, from pedophile, things that I was looking into Meghan and Harry, and I start seeing pedophile, the connection and all of that. Before that, I didn't know. And I saw the connection, and I start talking about them, and I saw something much bigger than what was on the facade. When you look back at everything, every topic that I raise, and look at now with Trump, with everything that's going on, they all connected. And when you see the steps that Harry and Meghan have done, decided not to talk to the media or don't give interviews to media, and look at the US politics, which I talk about in some videos on Team Sussex. Kamala Harris have not sat down with any major medias in the US. Why? Because the same blueprint that the UK has about the tabloid, it's happening also here in the US. But the difference here is we are at a crossroad. Majority of Americans see the BS. They see it now. Major American, a good portion of American seeing the BS that's going on. Kamala Harris, and I think Biden saw it too, and this is why he decided to, that's a different level. But they're all connected. Okay? They are all connected. Okay, let's read some more here. There was so much power and influence, yet the British media managed to convince a good section of the public that they're powerless victims of Harry and Meghan speaking up, often characterized as attacks. Even Americans fell for it. Yeah, but whatever. They did same with Diana. Her crime was supposedly destroying the monarchy, and they made her life miserable. I hope people realize how cruel and unfair it is to pit individuals, a couple, against an institution of power with no observation of the rules of law. That's the thing that I was saying. The level of things, they're below God, and they don't follow any laws, any rules, okay, and not feed British media narrative. You mean like the way people do religion? Okay, still doesn't take away from their cultist antics. Meghan Markle has had her life and that of her children threatened simply because she spoke out against the horrible things she endured during the short time being in that family. Plus, their members continue to harass her 24/7, 365 days. All right, what else? I wanted to go into that. Tyler Perry said it best about the cult. I saw my mother being abused for years. I knew the symptoms. Meghan was abused. So was Harry, to use the institution to do all the things that a batterer will do. We're gonna cut off the money. We're gonna not leave you security. We're gonna do all those things to make you comply. That's right, and come back. And for the both of them to have the wherewithal to say, I don't give a damn about that palace. I applaud that. Let's read this. Okay, it's the shameless hussy tap for me, very brazen. Charles pulled their security to force them to return. Exactly what a cult will do. Clack that weird family. Okay. They encourage his Nazi uniform. It was William and Kate who chose that for them. But they never said it until recently. One of the royal rats said it. Okay, he's not an alcoholic or addicted of any kind, or that will have been exposed. Human growth and change, and only the most flawed refuse to acknowledge that. He makes his living talking about the media's complicity and his family's abuse. Get a grip. Okay, I don't even need to see this, and that's someone that I blocked, so that means that's a deranger. And this is what I said sometime, that the things that Harry went through, okay, he needed to go through some of them. All right, next tweet. I took too long with that. All right, so there's this here. This is Harry's path. All right, Prince Harry continues where his mom left off. That's him with disabled vets. Where was that? He has that African park uniform type of thing, so that must be somewhere in Africa. Okay, so that's that. There's no comment. There were a couple of these tweets that I saw with images of Harry working with people. Okay, so there's that. The weight of rats been holding that L, meaning loss, all year. There's the laugh here. That's a GIF. Hope it continues. They deserve it. All right, so that's that. This is an ad. All right, next one. I'm gonna try to do the first part of this video will be at 40 minutes. Look at World Sussex Squad having fun guessing where our faves will turn next. What an era to be living in. After all the stress and pushback over the past 5 years, now we are also in our Sussex joy era. Okay, so this is I didn't see this one, so it looks like some of the squads were asking, so where are they going next? Okay, I didn't see this lately. Since school is about to start, I haven't been too much on Twitter. Believe it or not, I haven't been too much on Twitter. Is every now and then, if I'm sitting somewhere or waiting online or something, I'll hop on Twitter, but not before during the summer, because school is about to start, so there's some stuff I need to do. All right, so South Korea 70%, Ghana 14, Argentina 16. Is Argentina part of the Invictus? There's showing that they're dancing. Oh my God, she's wearing this heel without a strap going around her ankle. This is very hard to move around with, and she's dancing so easily like that, and it's a high heel. What the? She needs to teach some of us how to walk on high heels, even on grass too. Oh my God, she was dancing with that. This is hard to walk with, just looking at it. The support. Okay, so there's no comment. All right, next tweet. So this is a video of Anderson Cooper asking Harry if he'll return. Salt Isle still isn't listening. They can't accept that Harry no longer wants to be part of the royal soap opera. Harry told those listeners that the royal bubble felt like a prison. If you really care about Harry, why would you ask him to give up the freedom he now has to return to prison? Okay, so there's no comment here. Let's go into that so we could see it much bigger. Anderson Cooper, can you see a day when you... Oh, let's pause it. Anderson Cooper, can you see a day when you will return as a full-time member of the royal family? Prince Harry, without even letting him finish the question, no. All right, 7 seconds.
Can you see a day when you would return as a full-time member of the royal family? Prince? Can you see a day?
He didn't even think twice. Definitive, no ifs, no buts. They are not listening. Alright, I swear for the next 10 years, we will be playing this video in response to the BS article about Harry and Meghan trying to get back into the royal fold. Shaking my head. That man didn't start it. That's right. Or, there's the Guardian here. Prince Harry says any return to royal fold will be unsurvivable. Wow, I never seen that one. That was last year, January 2023. Prince Harry has described... Let me go look for that article, and I'll put the link in the description. That's very interesting. Okay, so there it is here. Prince Harry says any return to royal fold. Very interesting. Prince Harry, okay, so there will be 2 parts to this video. Right now we are in part 2. Alright, so let me read this. Prince Harry says any return to royal fold will be unsurvivable. And US interview to promote book Duke of Sussex also point fingers at Camilla, but says she is not an evil stepmother. Okay, Prince Harry, was it? She is not an evil stepmother. Prince Harry described how he can't ever get out of the royal family, but he does not believe it will ever be possible for him and the Duchess of Sussex to return to the UK as working royals. In his latest TV interview to promote his autobiography Spare, the Duke of Sussex continued to point the finger at Camilla, the Queen Consort, over allegation he had been sacrificed on her personal PR altar. Asked on Good Morning America if the couple could return to the royal fold, he said he did not think it is ever going to be possible. That's very interesting. I never seen... what the fuck? I'm trying to remove it, but it went in. Yeah, even if there is a agreement or a arrangement between me and my family, there is that third party that is going to do everything they can. That's the tabloid he's making reference to. Alright, there is that third party that is going to do everything they can to make sure that isn't possible, he told host Michael Strand, implying he was referring to the media and competing royal press offices, not stopping us going back but making it unsurvivable. There it is here. He said he believed his late mother would be heartbreaking over the rift that has developed between him and his brother, William. I think so too. Prince of Wales, I think she will be sad. I think she will be heartbreaking. And the worst thing is, people need to understand some of the pain that Harry is going through is because of his brother. Him William, as an older brother, should have understand all of this. But instead, oh my God, he went quadruple worse than what his father did to his mother. Okay, don't forget, Meghan had a miscarriage because of nonsense that they put him through. He insists his late grandmother, Queen Elizabeth, was not upset at him wanting to step down as a working royal. She knew what was going on. She knew how hard it was. I don't know. And the thing is, too, with the Queen, she knew her time was about to be up. She held it as long as she could and hoping that the son will make it right, but instead it's just downhill after downhill. And also, during Prince Charles' reign, what would have been the topic of conversation, they literally crafted, in my humble opinion, they crafted, Charles and Camilla crafted this narrative, what we are talking about now, about the two brothers. They crafted it so they don't talk about her and Charles of what they did to Princess Diana. Okay? If you look back with some of the things that have been happening, they did that crafting. For the two brothers to coincide like that and then take full advantage of it and then put gas to the fire. She knew what was going on. She knew how hard it was. I don't know whether she was in a position to change it, he said. And look at the Sandrium Summit, where Harry was saying that they were screaming and all of that. William was in charge of that summit. Okay? And Harry was saying how disrespectful William was in front of the Queen. Harry has huge respect for the Queen. William, I don't know, because he knows he's gonna be the next after the father, so there's no respect. Alright, she knew what was. Even Charles is afraid of William. Okay? There's that video of him hitting Charles in the head. So Charles is afraid of him. So the exited part is Charles and William, mostly William. Alright, she knew what was going on. She knew how hard it was. I don't know whether she was in a position to change it, he said. He added, she never said to me that she was angry. I think she was said it had got to that point. Of the royal family, he said, I can't ever get out and I'm incredibly aware of my position. I'm incredibly grateful for the life that I've had and continue to live, but there's no version of me being ever able to get out of this. Harry knew. Alright, Harry has attacked what he alleged was Camilla's attempt to rehabilitate her image in several interviews after she was cast as the third person in his parents' marriage, but he told Strahan he also sympathized with her, saying she was not an evil stepmother. But she was using you to better herself when she did. She knows what she did. She know what she did. Play like a helping person when Charles was dating Diana. I mean, it's a whole mess. It's a whole mess. I never seen this type of nonsense. Oh, all right. So there's more. Oh, I'm almost done. Just finish it. It's almost the same repetition of things. Okay, but the link is in the description. Let me do that now. Since I have the link, I put it in the and there to reply. Okay, here's the link in case someone wants to read it. So that's that. Okay, so that's that. There's more comment, but let me finish up with this recording. I'm already an hour and 19 minutes. Okay, 95. Where was I? Let me make sure I don't skip anything. Okay, so the next one that I have is a prayer from one of the squad, and I think there are 4 prayers. I'm gonna read 2. One of them for the first part of the recording, and hopefully when I'm editing I remember to remove one, and the second one will be for the second part of the video. Okay, prayer for Prince Harry and Princess Meghan. Harry and Meghan are loved. There's all of those hashtags. They are like trees planted by a stream of water, bearing fruit in due season, with leaves that do not wither. Everything they do shall prosper. All right, let's pick the first top 2 one. Okay, that will be for first part of the recording. Now this is the second prayer. Prayer for Princess Meghan. O Lord, shield and protect Meghan always against the assault of her enemies. Bless her with the calm assurance that you hold her securely and she will never fall from your loving hands. Strengthen her, Harry, and all who love and support her to carry on the good work that you have given her to do. Through Jesus Christ our Lord, by the power of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Alright, so that's it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. I switched the channel because this is where I'll be putting both part 1 and part 2 of this recording. Alright, so that's it. Thank you for watching.